Hi, it's Kevin Lebates here, the CTO of Artima, and today I want to talk about patent strategies. This is a follow-on from my previous video on patenting, and it's based on an observation, or rather a question, which is when should a company start thinking about its patent strategy? And my answer to that, if you don't want to watch the whole video, is probably a lot sooner than you think. Now, for a small startup with no funds, that's bootstrapping along and just trying to get traction and market validation for their ideas, patenting is going to be tricky because it's not cheap. The patent attorneys and the patent office fees will mount up over time, and of course you're faced with a problem, which is spending $5,000 on pursuing a patent versus $5,000 on a marketing campaign. Well, if you don't market your product, then you won't bring any money and you'll go bust, at which point having a patent pending won't help you. So it's understandable that small companies and startups don't initially pursue a patent strategy. At the other end, long-standing established companies, take something like IBM or Xerox or Qualcomm or something like that, well, they have huge patent portfolios in place. They've been doing this for decades. It's all a bit of a well-oiled machine by now, and they have enough money coming in and they have enough recognition from the shareholders in some sense that it's worth them continuing to do this, that their patent strategy just keeps rolling along. The problem arises for the mid-size companies. So these are ones where they're doing quite well now. They've got product market fit, or they've got a carved out a niche in a particular service market. At what point should they start thinking about their patent strategy? And the issue there is that patents are like, like trees in an orchard. They take a while to obtain, they take a while to grow and mature, and you don't know which ones are going to be good and which ones are not going to be good. So it's best to get started as early as you can afford to, because you don't want to wake up one day and realize that you really, to survive, need to be able to bake an apple pie and you don't have any apples. And worse than that, you can't go out and easily buy the apples because the people who do have orchards are fiercely protective of their crops. They want to use them for their own purpose. So the problem there then is often these companies do not have staff who are aware of the significance of patents, what's involved legally and in an operational sense. They've usually got their area of speciality and that's what they're focused on. And then suddenly there's this whole new domain of legal and technical issues that they have to address, and they don't really know where to start. And the answer is, like everything in the business world, you just have to kind of pull up your sleeves and get stuck in. Start studying up on it, start looking at history, what other companies have done and what are the mistakes they have made over time. But the fundamental thing remains, when a company is established and has actually got money coming in and thinks it will be surviving comfortably for the next year or two or three, at that point they should be diverting some of their resources to building up a patent portfolio, encouraging invention on the part of their staff, and just basically making sure that they are protected sometime further down the line, when instead of being a medium-sized company, they are a large company, because then they're going to be wishing that they had paid attention to this topic earlier on. And this is particularly relevant to blockchain companies, because there are these companies out there that have done remarkably well, remarkably quickly, and are now sitting on a lot of spare cash, and they're still oblivious to the fact that sometime over the next few years activity is going to start taking place in the with the issue of patents, and they're going to find that they're being caught short because they don't have the portfolios. So that's my take on the issue of patents, and in particular patent strategies, with a little bit at the end about blockchain, of course. I hope you found that interesting. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments, or make some observations and I'll address them, and hope to see you in the next video soon. Bye for now.